Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to plantfitmeg. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to get into weird habits that I've implemented that improve my life. And this is sort of a part 2 to another video that I filmed a while back that was fairly popular and was actually inspired by another video by another creator. So I'll link those videos up here or down in the description box below so you can go take a look. These are not your typical healthy lifestyle habits like drinking water and getting outside and things like that. It's things that are more personal to me that I've done that have helped me be happier and improve my day-to-day. Let me know if you can relate to any of these or if you have things that you like to do that really improve your life that might be a little unusual, that might not be the norm. I'd love to hear about it. Definitely check out my first video as well so you can see other things that help me to improve my life. Some weird tips, weird habits. I hope you really enjoy this video and let's jump right into it. One thing that I really like to do that's a little bit unusual is I like to read children's books. I do have a child, so in that way it's not that unusual because I'm reading with him and to him and he's reading to us at this point as well. But I have been reading children's books since university. So obviously as a child, I read children's books. I've always been a reader, but I stopped reading children's books as a teenager and as a young adult, reading other things, progressing beyond them. And then I took a children's literature course in university, and I realized how much joy I felt just reading old favorites or reading new children's books. And so at least once a year since then, I read a children's book, and it could be something that I'm already familiar with that I really enjoy, or it could be something new to me. It could be a novel, or it could be a shorter book. There's so much great messaging in children's books about being kind and being inclusive and community and being yourself and really going for things and being capable. And they're so easy to read, and I just really enjoy it. So I don't read children's books exclusively, but I do make sure to include them here and there just for my own enjoyment. Let me know if you have any good children's book recommendations to check out. I'll include some photos here as well of some that I enjoy. Another weird habit that I have is to pretend that my life is a quest or a game or an adventure, and I'm the superhero or the leading lady or something like that in my own story, in my own life. Might sound a little odd and a little unusual. And I think I mentioned this in my previous video more in relation to fitness and exercising and feeling like, oh, I can do one more rep, or if I'm running, it's almost like I can feel a cape behind me and I just envision it, and it's sort of a visualization thing. But I think this extends just beyond fitness and exercise. When I got to thinking about it, I was like, well, I actually use this in my day-to-day life besides fitness as well. I think it just helps to kind of reframe, especially if you're a mom or you're someone who is a caregiver or someone who is very focused outwardly on other people and very giving of your time, giving of your effort and things like that. And it's great to do those things, don't get me wrong, but I think kind of resetting and thinking, okay, this is my life. I get to decide what I do with it. Of course, I have responsibilities and there are other people to consider, but at the same time, I'm the superhero in this story. I'm the leading lady in my own life. All of us are. So I think it's helpful. It sounds weird to say out loud, but it really is helpful to me. I think it also helps in the sense of if your life is a quest or an adventure, it's not without obstacles. It's not without troubles. It's not just going to be smooth sailing the whole time. And if you read a book or watched a movie and it was just smooth sailing the whole time, that would be pretty boring. So when things come up that are difficult and challenging, of course it sucks, of course, but I can sort of think of it in those terms of this is an adventure, this is a quest, I'm going to do my best and recruit my helpers and try to get through it and make it work. This next one is a little bit of a choose your own adventure, and I do both of these things in different contexts, but it has to do with doing chores and getting things done around the house. And I'm someone who has a hard time with these things. I have ADHD, and so staying focused on tasks and remembering to switch laundry and just getting these things done can be a really big challenge. So I choose my own adventure here. Either I try to make it as fun as possible, I gamify it, I have a dryer party. This actually comes from my parents. I have to give them credit for that, where we would help fold up all the laundry, and my parents would call it a dryer party. And so we would try to make it fun. We would chat, we would listen to music, and I've incorporated that into my own household with my husband and my son. And we try to just enjoy the process of whatever chores need to be done, whatever tidying, dishes, all that jazz, and try to just make it as enjoyable and painless as possible. Sometimes that means me rocking out by myself and, using a scrub brush as a microphone while I'm doing dishes, or just doing it in a silly way. No one says that you have to be super serious about it and that it needs to be a big hassle and a big pain. On the other hand, sometimes gamifying it just doesn't appeal to me. Sometimes that seems forced or fake, or it just doesn't fit the situation. And in those moments, I like to choose the other aspect, the other choice here, and that is to really try to make chores and make these tasks as neutral as possible. They're not good or bad. They're just things that need to be done. They're not my most favorite thing. They're not most people's favorite thing, I would suspect. But they're just things as an adult that you have to do. You have to keep up with. And you'll be happier for it when it's done. And so just trying to frame it as something that's just a requirement of life. It needs done. Just get it done as quickly as possible. Get through it so I can move on and do something more enjoyable afterwards. Another thing I really like to do, another weird habit, is that I really like to think about future me and past me. So, might sound a little strange, but I'll explain. I like to think of it in terms of when I'm making decisions about meal planning, let's say, or prep, or doing chores, doing dishes, doing things like this, getting things put away and tidied. I think about how future me would feel about these decisions. How would future me feel about my decision to go to the gym today or not? And it doesn't mean that I always do the thing, but I always like to consider, what would the me of an hour from now think? Or what would the me tomorrow think? How am I going to feel? And I try to sort of project myself into the future to see how I might react and respond so that I can make a decision now accordingly that will bring me future joy and future happiness, if that makes sense. I like to set up future me for success. And it's almost like thinking about myself as a separate person from my future self. And I want to set that girl up for success. I want her to be happy and content. And so as much as possible, I try to think about that. And sometimes you need a rest from the gym. Sometimes you need a day off and you're just not up for it. And future me will give me a pat on the back for taking time away if I need it and taking a break as well. I also like to thank the past version of myself for setting myself up for things or for doing certain things when I didn't really want to. I could have done something else, but I decided to go to the gym anyway or do that chore anyway. So I like to sort of give myself a pat on the back to say, hey, thanks, past Meg. You did a good job. You made a great choice, and I'm feeling really happy about it. I also try to be really compassionate with myself. So if I'm upset about a decision that I made for whatever reason, I try to stay really non-judgmental and really compassionate with myself And based on whatever response or reaction I have to the decisions that I'm making, that's new information, and that's me learning more about myself, and it means that I can make different decisions in the future. Another weird habit that I have is really focusing on doing my best to be myself. And we hear these messages of be yourself from a very young age, and I think when we're young, we're very good at it. My 7-year-old is very good at just being himself. He's such a little character, he's such a little Muppet, and he just does what he wants, and he doesn't think too much about it or care too much about it. And it's really beautiful, really lovely to see. And I think it's really important to be authentic and to be genuine and to be true to ourselves and make choices and decisions in line with our values. And I think sometimes people get caught up with other people's opinions and what other people think you should be doing or saying or stuff like that. Over the years, I've really practiced questioning why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm saying what I'm saying, why am I thinking or feeling a certain way, who am I really deep down beyond just the labels that I'm given as a mom and a wife and a daughter and a sister and all these kinds of things. Of course, I am all of that, but I'm more than that as well. And I'm not just what I do either. I'm not just my job or my YouTube channel or anything like that. So I try to dig a little bit deeper to who am I at my core, what is really important to me, what are my values. And I think just journaling about that, thinking about that, meditating can be a good way to kind of connect that way with yourself. And when I find out something is really important to me or I really enjoy something, then I make it a point to focus on those things or do those things so that I'm being really genuine and authentic with myself and being me in the best way that I know how. Also allowing for change, allowing myself to evolve and develop and make different decisions, change my mind. As we gather new information, it's okay to make changes and do things a little differently. Somewhat related to being myself and being genuine, authentic, and true to myself and living out my values is doing things that I really enjoy, planning joy, scheduling it in, which might sound weird. But I think it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, get caught up in the chores, get caught up in the problems or the issues of the day, and not really carve out that time for doing things that we enjoy, things that enrich us, things that make us happy, and things that will be fulfilling. I used to spend so much time fretting, worrying, anxious, stressed about the future, stressed about what was next, what's the next thing, what's next on my list, and thinking, oh, I'll be happy when XYZ happens, when I cross this threshold, when I complete this task or this project. And it was always this future, oh, I'll be happy when XYZ happens. And I'm human. I can still get caught up in that for sure. And I can get caught up very easily in the day-to-day, just like everybody else. We sort of lose sight of doing things that are joyful and enjoyable and really enjoying our lives. And we're just kind of in the hamster wheel and just doing the same thing over and over and over. So scheduling in joy can be as simple as going to the gym, if that's something that you really love and really enjoy. It's not going to be the same for everybody. It's not going to look like the gym for a lot of people, but it could be anything that brings you joy. Just schedule it in. Carve out 5 minutes, carve out 10 minutes for a little bit of self-care time, a little bit of time to do something that's important to you, something that will bring you joy. I recently signed up for dance classes again. I was a dance teacher for many, many years, and then with having health issues and, came away from it a little bit for a while. And I'm actually going to be taking heels classes, which is a whole new adventure for me. I'm not usually a heels person, But I'm removing myself from that box of not being a heels person, and I'm going to give it a go. And if I love it, great. And if not, then that's okay too. I can do something else. I love to read, so making some time to do that is really important to me. Of course, spending time with my family is really, really important and brings me a lot of joy. Something as simple as going for a walk can be something that just take 5 or 10 minutes out of the day and just enjoy and be present in the moment. This can also include time for relaxation, time for rest, time for doing nothing, leisure time, right? So I think it can look very different, and even for me as one individual, it's many, many different things, and different days will call for different things. But I try to do at least one thing every day, at least 5 minutes out of my day. That is just for me, to do something that's important to me or something that I enjoy, something that'll give me a little boost, a little lift, and bring me some joy in my day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you watching, especially if you're watching through right to the end of the video. It really helps out the channel a lot. Let me know what weird habits you have that improve your life. I would love to hear about it in the comment section below and have a little chat. Remember to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel below if you haven't already. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!